Hey guys, our project today is called MellowFood. I'm Jay Patel and my partner is.
Brock Freiberger. Nice to meet you guys.
All right, let's start with a quick introduction. Our project MellowFood is a responsive recipe website that showcases seasonal recipes in a clean and easy to use layout. Users can browse recipes by and view step-by-step instructions so it's easy for them to make the recipes. They can explore different types of dishes, organized by different flavors and by season. The site focuses on readability, simple navigation, and working well on both mobile and desktop devices. We'll also include a recommendation engine UI that suggests another recipe once a user has gone through a recipe. And we tried to create a more interactive experience only using HTML and CSS. Now, why we chose this project? We chose this project because not only are we learning web development in class today, but me and Brock also love cooking. And since we both like trying new recipes and spending time in the kitchen, building a recipe website felt like a fun and natural idea that we both wanted to do. It gave us the opportunity to practice important web development skills like creating clean layouts, responsive pages, and interactive elements. Overall, it was just a good way to work on our technical skills while building something related to a shared interest we have, which is cooking. Now we also have some key features for this project. MellowFood, MellowFood lets users browse the recipes by flavor instead of just the category because we want you to feel more connected to the recipe that you choose rather than it falling to any specific category. Each recipe has its own detailed page with ingredients and steps, and we also added a recommendation page, like I mentioned before, which will recommend another recipe once you're done with your current one. We also included a flavor guide on each page as part of the story package to make the experience feel more curated and educational, which will help you connect more to your own recipe. We also designed everything to be responsive and visually consistent. Now, the first page we have is our homepage, the index HTML. It is the homepage of the whole website and it acts as the main entry point for all the users. It introduces the site's theme, the branding, while providing a navigate the nav bar to all the important pages like our recipes and flavors. The page also features a hero section with an image, which you guys will see later. It also has a short description of the site, a button that will encourage users to explore all the recipes. Overall, it's just the basic structure of the homepage and it helps users guide to the rest of the website. Next, we have the recipes.html. This file is the main page where users can browse all the recipes that are available on our website. It displays the recipes as visual cards with images. Each recipe will have short descriptions showing what type of recipe it is, maybe what ingredients it has. It also has tags to show what type of dish and the flavor profile it is, if it's sweet, spicy. Users can also filter recipes by those flavor categories, such as garlic, herbs, spices, and citrus to easily find what recipe they're really looking for due to their tastes. Each recipe card links to the detailed recipe page, allowing users to view the full instructions and ingredients. Overall, this page is just to help the users explore. And then next we have the flavors HTML. This file just serves as a guide that explains all the different flavors like I mentioned before. Like we have the garlics, herbs, spice, and citrus, and describes how each one contributes to the overall taste of the dish. The page also presents this information in a recipe style, so it's easier to understand with images, short descriptions, and tags for each flavor. It's also just overall it's just to help the users understand what flavors in each dish goes to. Next, we have the details page. Now, this is the most important, I think, personally, file. This serves as the individual recipe page for our website. Each of these pages provide the full information for a specific recipe. It includes the image of the dish, all the ingredients of the dish, the preparation that you need, and the step-by-step cooking instructions to make the said dish. We also include a recommendation section, like I've mentioned before. So based on what recipe they choose, it'll recommend a similar recipe based on their tastes. Overall, these files just give a user clear instructions for what type of dish they choose. Now let's move on to the demo.
This is Mellow Food as a whole. This is our little website. So first you're greeted with our opening page here. This is our index, like Jay was telling us earlier, or our homepage. And you'll first meet the chefs, which is Brock and Jay here. and a little simple excerpt talking about what our actual website is as a whole. We also have a little mission statement at the bottom because we really just wanted to make it a, welcoming vibe and a calm place to view recipes and learn new things about cooking. So the second page here up at the top is our recipes page. This is the main portion of the website here. It is basically a list of cards which all have individual recipes on them. And these cards are all filtered by specific flavors. So you can sort these by the flavors, and these are all radio buttons, which you'll see later, to give the same choice, however, to different options at the end. You can also discover the flavors here, which Jay will talk about a little bit.
Yeah, so here we have the different cards for each flavor. We have a little description for what the flavor is, and as you can see, we have ghost buttons, so it shows what type of spice it is and what type of, if it's a balance or if should it be a signature part of the dish.
Yeah, exactly. So the flavors are just basically the highlight and a good way to sort the different recipes. And after you view the flavors, it will give you this little button that says, "Are you ready to cook?" And you can find your recipe by that specific flavor here. So let's search by garlic. I'm feeling some garlic. So I'm going to click on roasted garlic pasta here, and I'm greeted with the detail page for the specific roasted garlic pasta. So here is the recipe page. You first are greeted with a little description here, along with some key points about the roasted garlic pasta. You also are given the ingredients right on the side, and just for a little thing, we made the font here a little bit ghosted, so the header pops more here, and then it gives you some little things about the dish, like prep, cook, and the difficulty to actually cook the dish. So here are the steps for cooking the specific thing. We have roast the garlic, boil the sauce, toss and finish, and the little descriptions on what to do during these specific steps. And we gave 3 steps for all of the recipes because we wanted it to be simple but explorative for the actual person cooking, so they can kind of figure it out from the kind of clues we gave them. So at the bottom, we have our recommendation UI, which is a little recommendation for what would go really well to pair with the, let's say, roasted garlic pasta here. And for this match, there's an 87% chance that orange zest cake would flow well for your specific meal if this is what you decided to cook. And it is because you have a great hearty meal with a sweet finish and similar cozy but bright flavor profiles. So if we view the recipe here, we can see that the orange zest cake comes up, and this is another recipe that you can make after making the initial one. So you can scroll through, same kind of format, 3 tips, and then a suggested next recipe. But you can also just click on a different recipe like the herb lemon chicken here. What are the ingredients, steps, blah, blah, blah. But then it also has a suggest recipe, which is the green herb salad. And if we view this, we can, make this as well. So we wanted it to be concise and flow really nicely. And that was the big point of what we were trying to make here. And I think the little recommendations so you can have a cohesive meal is a great way to do that, especially because it flows well with the actual type of meal it is. Like as you can see here, this is an appetizer, but if we want a main dish, it would be here, which is the connection between them with the recommendation UI. So that is our demo, and now we're going to dive into the code here. Okay, so this is the code next to the actual website, just to make it easier to explain everything step by step and just how we went about doing this. So Jay, do you want to talk about the index?
Yeah, sure. So here, as you can see, we have the title for the index page, right? We also have the header class where you can see where it says the title, the MellowFood. Then we also have the nav bar so you can move through the pages, home, recipe, and flavors. Then we also have our hero section here where you see the image. It's a central page on the page. Um, then we also have below that we have our little section class where you can see our mission page, our mission section,
Yep, that's
which are
exactly
little
what that
missions.
is. And then next is the flavors, which is right here. Same sort of setup as the index page. We have the obviously the header, same nav bar, which is this right here, and the main container for all of the different um, uh, seasonings we have here.
Tabs.
So it's really just built in a kind of like a big stack, I guess you could say. It's just a main card with different tags at the bottom and the little animation you see there. Um, so like you can see, they all have the exact same setup here, same exact flow, just with the different image and actual content within. So moving on to the recipes page, which is our most in-depth out of the three, mostly because each one is separate. So same start as the others. But in the main, we actually have the radio buttons, which is the flavor filtering right here, where you can see with my mouse. And that is right here. And then this is the actual chip buttons that you can click on. Down here is all of our assets. These will all, or sorry, assets, all of our cards. These will all be the same exact layout. However, they each have their different picture here, and they each have the different descriptions, kind of like the same setup with our footer here, which will be consistent within all the pages. So the detail pages are where most of this are different pages are really coming from is going to be in the details page, which is this right here with all of our info. So at the start, you're greeted with the main, which has the headers, and then the ghost tags we were talking about earlier, which has the main tag, which we want you to see the most, which is the flavor profile. And then the ghost tags are like the kind of cool things you want to know about a dish you're cooking, but it's not the main center point, which is the flavor profile. Down here are our detail grids, which is the actual information, like with the ingredients and the prep time and all that fun stuff. And then we have the different steps, which is just little cards that have their specific image, um, or I guess class image and for the actual viewpoint. And at the bottom is the recommendation UI, which is the same flow with throughout all of our different recipes. And what makes this up is the main heading class, the image, but the most important thing is or the coolest thing is our little bar. So this is our bar right here. You can see all the bar information and how full it is based on the percentage that you see here, which is really cool. And then you get to see the drop down class, which is this right here. And then finally, the connection between the next detail page, which would be the orange zest cake, which has the exact same flow as the one previous, but just with different information. So the main portion of our website will be found in the CSS. I'm going to do a quick run through just along the website at the same time. So right here we have the root, which is our main color palette right here, and then our main. So this is just all of the fun information that is going to be consistent throughout, like the navigation buttons right here, and then the footer right here, the different card variables, the kicker, which is the endpoint, and then all the page heading, titles, filtering based on the specific information, and like here, all the filtering stuff right here. You can see this here is consistent, and it gives you the different buttons and how they change based on what you click. We also have the different recipe information. So that's like the cards and the media here, is right here with the images, and then the body, and then the buttons, which are here, the tags, and then the actual flavor profile when they're checked. So this is the checked, which is the other half of that. And then we have the hero, which is just our main point, our main center point here. And we have the detail pages, which is right here. So we have the heading, title, this right here, our tags and story, which is this right here, all of our media, which is the images, the ingredients, steps, and the recommendation UI right here. So it pretty much follows the same naming convention throughout based on what specific portion of it is with the specific type of HTML it is. So obviously recommendation is reco with the bodies and the confidence right here. And then the fun part, which is the bar and how full it is and what it looks like. And then the drop down with the little cursor right there. And then the flavor guide, which has the same kind of format as the cards with the media. And then right here with all the media. And the animation. So this was the biggest portion Jay and I had to work on. The animations was a key feature we wanted to add because of the cards floating, and when you load in, the header and the steps flow in as well. It makes it look like a good transition and keeps it consistent. So even like the nabs will hover for you. That's a cool animation we added. The hero grids will all float, like especially here with our cards. The steps ease in, like I said. They, as you scroll, it will stay coherent right there. All of our chips we added a little transition to, and the little animation between, so there's no little, those little inconsistencies are kind of weighed out. As you can see, they flow in really nicely. And then this is just our mission statement, which is very simple. And this is our general recipe for ones that are coming soon. And yeah, I think that is a very head level overview of our website. We hope you enjoyed One Chef to Another. And yeah, I think that's it. What did you say, Jay?
Heck yeah.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye.